Hello everyone. In this sessions, so basically in the last one for session in this playlist, I was exploring connectors. So from Claude, I was exploring connectors, and I was able to connect to my Gmail. So there are multiple other connectors. You can connect to any of the other, like a Google Drive. You can connect to GitHub. You can connect to Indeed for jobs and other. There are a lot of connectors that can be explored. So other thing, in this session I want to explore the skills. So in the previous session I was talking about skill. So skill is something that is a simple like an md file. So it creates a skill.md, and it can help define clear about define your search, and it can give you better answers. So in this I created a skill earlier which is called a city explorer. So basically the how I do is you just go to skills and you do a plus and you can create a skill. So you can actually either upload a skill file like skill.md if you already have, or you can write instructions, or you can create it with Claude. So in what I did was I created a city explorer. So what I started was with I went to Claude chat and I just said, build me a skill where I want to so if I want to visit a city, right? So normally what happens is when we are visiting, we need to do a lot of planning, especially a city, of course, if you haven't seen before. So I want to know what are the things to do. I want to know, like, if I am and it should be different for everyone. So if I like to visit museums, and if I like to do food tours, and if I like to spend more time visiting the culture or history, then I should be able to do that. In addition to a very every city has its own um, key things to do. We can go to TripAdvisor or other Viator and book tours and all, but it takes a lot of time. So my idea of building was that I was like, okay, I gave all that input to Claude. So if you see the description, it says find personalized things to do in a city and then build a day by day itinerary. So now it will basically add my interests. So now if I want to use this skill, so I will show you. So let's say I'll go to my new chat. Okay. So and I want to use my skills. So I have okay. I want to visit. Let's say I want to visit Athens and build and show me a list of activities based on my. Now it should use. Now this one, if I would have given without my skill, then it would have generally brought out stuff. But see, but it's using my skill that I just built, which is a city explorer. Then it will, and it knows that I like coffee and I like um, other things. So I like food tours and like history. So, but still, it will ask me what kind of experience are you most drawn to. So, history, let me say art and museum, or I can just skip it and let me see that. Just skip it and show me. But I will just say it's a 2 to 3 day trip. So make sure it uses my skills.md, and then it should give me based on that. So you can build skills within a few minutes, and you can save it as skills within your Claude, and then when anytime next time you run it, it will use it. So if you can see, it's such still searching, and it will find out, and it will pull the whole map in front of me based on my inputs. So I want to see if it matches with what I win, because I went to Athens. I want to see if it really matches of the stuff that I did. So it's a 2 to 3. It pulled for me, and it shows me. So of course, I have to visit Acropolis, right? Because that's more important. I have to visit. It's the main thing when you go to Athens. But other than that, what it showed me is a 2 to 3 day itinerary. So it also has automatically added food and culinary experiences. because, and also because I like museums, so it added it added the Parthenon, it added the Acropolis, and Panathinaik Stadium, which I didn't visit when I went, and then food and culinary. Of course, there is a food tour, so definitely it added that, and it added some other stuff based on my past, like my skills. So this is something, like you can just simply ask it, and then it will build you deeper, and you can do a deep dive. So I built one skill, and I like that. So if I show you, I built another skill, simply, which was a college admission guide. So in this case, I just gave that, okay, if there is somebody who wants to, who has, so you take the input from the user as well, what are their stats, like what are their SAT score, what is their GPA unweighted, and then if they want to go to East Coast versus in a particular country, and so it will ask all those, and then it helps to define exactly, pinpoint, like it kind of gets very very close, because otherwise I would be googling and making an Excel sheet, but in this case it helps to do it. So I think it's very good piece, good thing, and I'm still exploring, but I just want to share. So see, these are the two skills, and I can keep refining my skills. So if I want to add more things, so you can also do directly, I can edit, or I can try and chat. So I can try and chat, and then I can update my skills. So I can say, what, can you change the geography to West Coast, or can you change it to another country, or can you ask the user, like if they have any preference, if they have a budget. So, and then it will actually add that, and then I can save it, so it gets saved. So anytime I can keep on modifying it, and I can save it. So there's something very interesting, in addition to connectors, that I added. And there's one more thing, that if I directly go here, like I was showing, and let's say I want to do try, so then it automatically brings in the city explorer. So it will automatically directly use it. So build me, let me see, build me a 3-day itinerary for Florence. Okay, that has a lot of museums and good culture. Let's see. So now it will directly use it. Oh, my limit has reached. So I will probably have to do that later. So while I hit the limit, I just wanted to show where you can check how much is your limit. So if you go to your wherever you have, you go to settings, and in the settings, if you go to usage, this is here you have. So basically, there is a limit of a couple of hours. I think you can do, and you can, if you open multiple smaller chat sessions, that's better. So I have been working since morning, a couple of hours. So it says current session resets in 2 hours and 17. That's why at around 2 o'clock I should be, like in a few hours I should be able to go back and use it. And there are also weekly limits. So the all models run. I have used 53% of it, but there is one more thing that I think I have seen is, instead of using Opus, if I use Sonnet, then it's better. So if I do Sonnet 4.6, then it's better. But then it gives so after I my limit at 2 p.m., when I go back, instead of using Opus, then if I use Sonnet, it offers better, faster throughput. That's what I think. So that's what I'm going to do. But that's where I wanted to show where the limit. Okay, so I am back. So now I can try my using Sonnet 4.6. So I was doing City Explorer. This was a skill, and I'm going to just say enter. So now it will use the one that I built, and now it will build me an itinerary for Florence. So this should be very close to what I was, after I made all the updates. So basically, you can create a skill, and then you can go back, update it, you can save it, and then you can just run it. So skill, there is no expertise needed. Basically, it's simple language. What you want it to do, it's going to uh, do that, because it's going to use the skill. So I explicitly said use my skill, and then build it. So while it's doing that, another thing is that we can use skills in the Claude Code itself. So if you see, so the way to do in Claude Code is a little bit different than Claude, because in Claude Code you have to create a. So let's do that in the meanwhile. So in Claude Code, if you see, I created a skill called review Docker file, and to create a skill in Claude Code, you have to create a folder called skills. So if you see, I have a folder. if I go to .claude and I have a folder called skills, and I go in this folder called skills, there I have review Docker file. So if I go here, now here, basically this is the file. You can have anything. This is mostly you will use Claude Code Skills to review your code or do stuff related to your code. So this, in this case, I am going to just ask it to review my Docker file. So what it will tell is that what it is supposed to do, I want to make sure that my Docker file is secure. So I will say that last user should not be root, and there should not be user credentials in there. And also I don't want any apk commands, so no package manager. So simple things, and I will provide it a Docker file. And so this skill gets invoked when I, it can be used as part of my Cloud Code. So if I have a Docker file, it will go and review it, and it will say that, you fix this and all. So that's the way skills work in the Cloud Code. So if you see, I went to my Cloud Code and I said skill, it shows me there is a review Docker file. Now if I create a Docker file, so I created a Docker file also. You see, I have simple Docker file, and it's a Python base image, which I'm just doing nothing. I just copied off the internet. But what I want to show is I added this one root user. So now I'm having a root last user as root, which should not be allowed. So my skill should stop this. It should say, you cannot have last user as. So then once I created my Docker file and the skill ran, so normally it will automatically run or you can invoke it. So I said just review my Docker file, and it found out that user is root in line 13, like I had it. So the container runs at root, which is security risk. So it will not let me do that. So it's giving me some options that I should run as app user, and I have to create a user. So I should fix that. And again, it also giving me additional recommendations, right? Like credentials, right? So it's saying that if there is anything like credentials, so it's reviewing my whole folder. So I have a Gmail MCP server that I built earlier. So it's going to say that, okay, if there are some credentials in there, it's checking that. And also is checking that pip install. I said no packages, but pip install I commented, so it's saying it's fine. But APK is not there, so it's saying that's fine. So these are certain ways to invoke a skill within Cloud Code. So so you just basically, you just saw, right? You don't need any knowledge of coding, but you just need to know, okay, what kind of what's your use case, and then you just ask Claude, and it will help you, and you can build a skill, and that's it. Now and you can have multiple skills. So I can have another skill which says that make sure that my Docker file is optimized, so, and it has minimal layers, or the base images it uses is not more than this particular size. So it will do that. So before I end, let me go back. So it built my itinerary, the other skill, right? So now this one, so it clearly built the whole itinerary based on my requirement, whatever I said. So it's taking me on, because I said I want to do more museums and I want to do more food tours. So it's kind of made build the whole itinerary for me, and it kind of summarized it what I'm going to do. So this is something useful. We can keep on enhancing the skills and keep on using it.